My name is Jeff Gilliam. I'm Carlton Reynolds, and we're with Phase 614, Fashion, Art, Culture, Entertainment. Phase 614 is an umbrella organization which holds First Fridays, but today we're here to talk about the Now Foundation, our nonprofit organization that is put together to help creatives organize and grow their businesses and become corporate ready and take advantage of the community's offerings.
So the opportunities with the Now Foundation is, as a creative, we will help you bridge the gap by providing you with tools, resources, and a platform to give you that large-scale exposure for corporate events.
And those resources come in incorporating your business, branding, and also the platform benefiting thousands of potential customers and partners. Now Foundation got started because First Fridays historically was a group that brought together a lot of people monthly. So the creatives starting with art, starting with culture, were looking for a platform to show and exhibit their wares. And that over time became the Now Foundation. So today, if you're a creative out there and you want exposure and you want to be a part of something great, please come see us at the Now Foundation.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alice Arimoro. I'm a web developer at Eko Square. At Eko Square, we believe that your brand story is already amazing. We just help you tell it. And today is all about sharing the amazing brand story of Phase 614. Before we get into it, I'd like to introduce my beautiful co-host. Her name is Vivian, and she's a visual designer at Eko Square. Actually, she was the visual designer on this project. Vivian, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Tola, for that awesome introduction. I I really appreciate that. My name is Vivian, and I'm the visual designer at Eko Square. And today happens to be a very wonderful day because we have with us today Mr. Jeff here with us, and we'll be asking him some questions concerning a project. But before we dive right into that, Tola, I want to know, while working on the project for 614, how was the experience for you?
Okay. Working on the project was quite exciting for me. When I first heard about the project brief, the parts of the project that stood out to me and caught my attention was the event ticketing part. The functionality to allow people to come on the website, select an event they want to attend, and then book a ticket and pay for it. That was the most interesting part of developing the website for me. How about you, Vivian? What was your reaction when you heard about the design brief? Like,
Um,
creating the branding and all of that.
okay, when 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 the brief came in first, I was like, okay, this is a unique project because we'll be doing a lot of things, and it's the first time for me coming across such broad projects. So I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be really exciting. So yeah, it was the emotions were there, and I was very much excited about it. Thank you.
Okay, that sounds amazing. Okay, so now we would like to hear from the man of the moment. I would like to introduce to you Mr. Jeff Gilliam. Welcome, Mr. Jeff.
Welcome. Thank you all for having me this morning. I really appreciate it. It's been a great experience, and I'm looking forward to many more.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeff. It's nice to have you, and thank you for taking out time to have this chat with us. Okay, so we'll be diving right into it. Mr. Jeff, while I was working on the website, I realized that there is I realized that there's a lot of difference between creating an experience and then creating an event. Like you've been in this industry for the past 20 years and you've been creating experiences for the Black community in the United States. So I'd like to ask, what would you say is the difference between an event and an experience?
That's a good question. And there's a big difference. I think that when you look at an event, that's something that you go to, it happened, and you weren't a part of it. When you go to an experience or enjoy an experience, you're a part of the experience. So, what we've tried to do over the years is be able to create an environment that's interactive, create an environment where you find your own unique ability to enjoy the environment, to participate in the environment, to remember the environment in such a way that it becomes an experience. Because experience, once again, I think is unique to every individual. So that's the real key for us is to create ideas and dynamics in places where you see it and you come to that experience in a way that you have your own particular memory of what that is and what it was.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Jeff, for that awesome response. And if we could step back a little, I'm quite curious. One of the major things for Phase 614 is promoting Black culture, Black creativity, Black excellence, Black art. So I want to know, and I'm sure Tola is also curious, what is the significance of this platform, Phase 614? What is the significance of Phase 614 to the Black community in the United States?
I think the significance or the opportunity is for us to bring together people and to create a showcase. We've done numerous events over the years, and it's grown to a point where our events are of such a size and a platform that people can experience it at a superior level. That's the way of looking at it. I mean, I think as you look through and see some of our imagery and videos of our past events, we bring together thousands of people in the best venues in the most unique ways. So it's really a showcase, a platform to showcase really the talents of our culture. And that's the really big thing because you want to be able to be on the biggest stages and have the most people see you interact at real time. Here in the United States, we just had the Super Bowl, which is our biggest event for what we call football. You guys say American football, but football here. And that's a showcase. And one thing, the biggest thing there is the halftime show, because people wanted that platform. The artists love to be on there because they're in front of all the people in the biggest stage and the biggest dynamic. So in some way, we kind of do the same thing with our events. We take our artists and the people we deal with through our face dynamic and put them on those stages in those arenas when they can show the best in front of all the people they can show it in front of. So that's really our goal, to create that kind of environment and bring the culture to the forefront. Because, like anything, gaining your culture, exposing your culture, and, continue to promote your culture is critical. So I think people, when they see those avenues of opportunities, they latch on to them and they really appreciate it. So that's what we try to do. We try to keep that going, try to even make it better as we go along. So improvement is always our key to, extend and let people know what our culture looks like.
While we have been discussing as a company with you, you have made mention that you have been handling events for the past 20 years. So right now I'm curious, at what point, what triggered the decision for you to transition from organizing events to having a platform of your own like this, like Phase 614? What led to that decision?
I think like any evolution or journey, there's not one thing. I think there is a multiple things and multiple people that brought us together. The combination of us coming together with Phase 614 really is a number of years that we originally started with our First Fridays group, which was our monthly events. We went on to bigger events for our major events, and we started to use our platform to communicate and bring people together across different avenues and dynamics. And so, whereas there's not one lightning point that got us to the Phase 614 level, I think a number of things, a number of people came together and saw opportunity in within my team and outside of my team. We said, hey, there's an opportunity for us to have a bigger impact, for us to have a more measured impact, for us to be able to look at it in a different way, in different light. And that's really where the Phase 614 dynamic came into play. And, through you guys, the Eko Square is very you're helping us to communicate that, helping us to let the people understand the multifaceted nature of what we do. Whereas the events and experiences that we create, I would call the foundation, but there is much more to what we do and many more layers. So our ability to explain that, and also not only explain it, to have folks interact and enjoy and get involved in those things, which is really the main purpose. Our main purpose is to have people understand what we do to the extent that they can be involved and enjoy and benefit from our efforts.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for that good answer. Moving on. Also, still on the 20 years of managing and promoting events, I it's obvious that Phase 614, or before the branding, you have access to one of the most prominent areas where your events are being held. So we want to know what that feels like to be hosting events in prominent places like that, and what got you to that point.
Mhm. Once again, I think a lot of my answers may kind of start the same way, and it's the evolution.
Yeah.
We've been throwing events in this community and across the country for quite a while. And one of the beauties of it is we've been able to um, gain the respect and the understanding what we do across the board. So we're now at a point where the largest, most prestigious venues in town and and across the country want us to be a part of their offerings, because it's not just us going to them and us benefiting, or our culture benefiting. It's the entire community benefiting by seeing what we do. So yes, we here in Columbus, we go to the Columbus Art Museum, which is a fabulous location, one of the leading art museums in the country. And then we also, as one of our other big offerings, go to COSI, which is a science museum, and actually the number one science museum in the country 4 years running. So just for example, when we talk about large scale dynamics, COSI is 320,000 square feet over 4 floors, and we literally take up the entire space. So to be able to come in on that kind of scale and produce a very unique kind of event offering, is it's something that we're proud of. It's something that I think the people we deal with and our partners, we like to call them partners, they are proud of. And I think the community, who also we feel are partners, they are proud of as well, as far as being able to execute in those environments and really bring them to light. So I think that in both those cases, the art museum, I know art museum and COSI, we are the single biggest event that they have in their buildings.
Yeah.
And they do hundreds, if not thousands of events, and we're the biggest. And I would say the best as well.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Okay. Moving on. Working with us, I'm quite curious. What convinced you that that Eko Square, that Mr. D create is going to bring this your idea to life? Like, it's capable. You're in capable hands. What
Mhm.
about us convinced you?
That's, and that's actually something I think about. We have a lot of people who come to us who have ideas, who want to be a part of our vision, part of our programming, what we do. So I'll tell you from the very start, we're pretty cautious, and I'm a pretty cautious person on who we work with and how we do it. And DPA and Eko Square presented, a challenge to me. I think one of the funny things that when we first met, he heard what I had to say. He heard my vision. He did his homework, which I first of all thought was very professional, amazing. The amount of homework that your team did to understand my business, my product, our way of doing things over the years. So when we first talked, he was very well prepared to have opinions on how our business worked and how he can help us. So I think when we went through that process, and his ability to have a vision beyond my own, I actually would say, because we don't want to say that we know everything. We know what we do, but we don't always understand how the best way to communicate it or even present it. And I think that the confidence I got was really with him saying, "Hey, here's our vision. Here's what we'll do, And even though I had some ideas of my own, I said, well, those are good too. Let's make them in, but here's some other ones. And the other ones that you had actually were better than the ones I had. So when I sat back and looked about it, and it's so funny, we were on one of our calls. This is a long answer for you, but I want to get it all out. And I was so impressed with how he walked us through the process that I had some other of my team members who weren't scheduled to be on the call drop what they were doing to join the call because I wanted them to hear it firsthand and not have it come through me on what we were looking to do. So that's a way of saying it, but really, I was impressed with the amount of attention to detail, the amount of pre-work put into place just to be able to have a conversation with me about my business, about my vision, and understanding it. So that really was, excuse me, the key factors that kind of made us think that, hey, we're definitely going in the right direction by going to Eko Square.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your nice words. Thank you for your very kind words.
Typically, clients have an idea of how they want their website development process to go, like the kind of functionalities they want the website to contain and all of that. So I'd like to know, while we were developing the websites, were there any new ideas that we brought into the project, things that you had not like talked about yet? Were there new things and values that we brought to the table during the project?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that we looked at over the years, we had a number of I won't call them different ventures, but different projects or different avenues that we had traveled. Um, and we felt it was time to bring it under one umbrella to kind of coordinate how it was delivered, how it was talked about, and how it was dealt with. So I think we had a vision. We had various attempts to get that vision online the way we wanted to have it online. But I really think when we got together with Eko Square, they were able to say, okay, here is what you've been doing. Here's what I hear you wanting to do, but here's also a way to bring it even more into where you want to go in the future. And I think that was a big thing because, because we carried a lot of different things. We had our purchasing over here as far as, how you purchased our events or our dynamics. That was over here in this website using this third party. We had other things over here. We had the events kind of separated. So the communication and the next evolution of our brand was to bring it all together and have it in one place in a logical way. So now all our events in one place, you can execute within that. And that's what came from Eko Square. And also other ways to communicate to the general public at large through the website, through, I guess, building this collective gathering of information in dynamic, and it now is able to be seen and also uh, interacted with on an ongoing basis. So it's kind of almost like we've created some kind of living organism to be able to take what we do, show what we do, and bring people in to participate in the process. One of the things they brought up is, now our vendors can come through our website and they, get involved in our different dynamics, pretty much, automated completely. Our sponsors can do the same thing. So like I said, some of the things we were doing third party offline can now be done in online and then all in one space. So for us, when you look at it, once you kind of get that together, that it makes a big difference. We're new with this, and we look forward to really taking advantage of it going forward. So yes, there were great ideas put together and bringing it together and operating on a platform, basically creating a platform that can handle all our various businesses and people we deal with. And I think that's what we've accomplished here.
So, Mr. Jeff, for me, while working on Phase 614, my primary focus was developing the brand identity and also the color scheme. And what was going through my head while I was working on that was I wanted to put out a logo that really speaks what the brand is about, that really speaks what the project is about, that speaks excellence, that speaks creativity, you get. And that was what influenced my choices of color, which is black and gold. And for me, what was going to my head while choosing those colors was that the black represents black culture, black creativity, and then the gold stood for excellence and royalty. And well, that's for me. That's for me. But I would love to know your own point of view. At first, when you saw the new brand identity, the logo, and then the color choice, we decided to go through. What went through your mind? What was the emotion you felt? I'm curious.
I'm always thinking not only how my reaction is to something, I have my own action, obviously, but also think past myself what my various audiences will be thinking about what they see when they see it for the first time. And so I'm trying to um, capture my own feeling, but my feeling also is tied to how I think it'll carry over to my ultimate audiences. And I was very impressed. I think I'll start with the logo. The Phase 614 logo had simplicity, but also had a lot of to say at the same time. I mean, because when you look at our branding, face, fashion, art, culture, entertainment, the way the logo came together in the 614, the area code in which we're based in. So I thought the way it was fresh, it was modern, and it said a lot without being over the top. So I like that. And those are the kind of things that I think are built for a quality kind of presentation. And as far as the colors, I think the colors perfectly matched our mood, our feel. I think that, it touched those dynamics. And once again, when you say that is, when you look at the color scheme and base, it either hits you right way or the wrong way. And that's how it is. You don't debate back and forth, or you don't, when you push the button, you see it, either feel like I feel good about this, or I do not feel as good as I want to feel about it. And not only myself, my entire team and our beta testing team all felt the same way. So I thought it was an excellent job as far as picking the right color scheme, the right logo, the right look and feel. Because once again, we're so visual, and the look and feel of what we do is highly important. I mean, because it just hits you. If it hits you right, then everything else after that you see or get involved with, you look at differently because you feel better about it. And so I think that that hit the mark, and that's what we wanted to go for. So very happy there.
While the project was going on, I was involved in the development aspect, the functionalities and all of that, event ticketing, for instance, allowing people to be able to buy a ticket, pay for it, the sponsorship form, allowing sponsors to be able to pick a sponsorship package and pay for it, the CRM. You spoke about that, allowing people, it now allows you to be able to segregate your audience and then send targeted information to different audience group. So I'd like to know, in what ways do you like, first of all, what was your reaction when you like went through all of these functionalities? While we're working on the projects, we were able to use the forms to get testimonials from vendors, from event attendees. Your impression when you saw all of that functionality coming to in one website, and what ways do you envision these functionalities being useful for your business?
Well, like I said, I think when I don't take into account only my reaction. I think about all the folks involved in what has to happen for my business and team to work. So when I look at it, I want the feedback from them, because really for me, the people who work with me, what makes their job easier and makes their job more enjoyable is highly important. So really, my feed or my not feedback, but my thought on it came from my employees, the people who work with me on my team, when they looked and saw the various tasks that they were doing in the past, and just the ability to be more organized and have central location and actually gather more information quickly. That was a um, highly received, highly favorably received situation, because like, hey, I was doing it this way, and now we can come here, and anything to make yourself more efficient, more productive, make the business better. That gives them more time to be more creative. And I think that sometimes you take functional dynamics such as what you do in the website and don't tie them to great creativity, what you do, because when you free more time up for my individuals, team members to be able to say, okay, I was spending an hour doing this, or this is done automatically, or it's now I'm 10 minutes just looking over it. I've got more time to be creative. I got more time to service our clients. We've got more time just to be there. So for our ability to have, and even for our sponsors, so I'm taking from different audiences, that's another audience, for them to be able to say, I can come in and get all the information I need. I can transact here. People are all kind of timelines all across the country, sometimes all across the world. And, their timeline doesn't always match up to yours in the work day, but they can go ahead and say, okay, let me do this now because this automated is here to answer my questions. I know it's done because I'm getting confirmations and everything is there. This makes their life easier. So I think people respect a situation when the most modern technology is effectively being used to help them do their jobs better and help them keep account of what goes on as well. So across the board, I think that the reaction, not only from me, but like I said, I look at it through my team members, my other audiences that, I work with on a daily basis. Their reception of it was highly favorable. And I think they're anticipating this being a really game changer going forward, being able to do their job the best way. And once again, communicate in a way that we all feel good about.
That's really, really awesome for Phase 614. Let's take it a step back and talk about the upcoming events, the masquerade events. And we are aware that there will be multiple DJs, multiple talents, multiple artists coming for this and will be involved in this. So from a project management standpoint, I'm curious to know what amount of work goes into developing an event like this, goes into making an event like the masquerade event come to life.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot that goes into it. People who don't do this on a regular basis may not fully grasp. For us, it's a labor of love. Obviously, we've been doing it for so long. We like the challenge of being able to put events together. But I mean, it starts with location. It even starts with time of year. When you're in the production business, you got to understand the calendar of events that happen in your community and abroad to be able to match up there. So it starts with understanding the calendar. It starts with the proper venue, with the proper concepts. So when you're looking at our masquerade, you have to look at, does the location fit the flow of what you're looking to present as an experience? And once again, I guess you asked the question earlier about the experience, and to get a proper experience, you have to make some decisions up front to understand what kind of experience you're looking to create. So for us, venue, time of the year, concept, then we get into the day of production, the bands, the type of bands we're going to put together, the amount. Because in this particular event, I think we've got 2 full bands and a smaller band unit. We've probably got about 6 individual singers that'll be part of it. We've got 4 or 5 DJs will be part of it. We've got a culinary display. We've got other just, integral dynamics to the event. So for us, getting the schedule of all the performers, dealing with things from lights to sound, all those things are people who take time and really you have to map out what has to happen there. So the production, this decor. So we have a number of professionals in our team and beyond that we have to coordinate, come together, and to make something a spectacular event. Because behind the scenes, people don't understand what's going on. All they expect is, hey, I walk in the door, you've advertised this great event. Let me walk in the door and get that experience that you promised me when I looked on the 614 website. When I looked at Phase 614, I said, I seen these fabulous pictures. I want to be the next set of pictures or next set of videos. So our job is to seamlessly bring all these things together in a way that it creates the experience that people want. So that's the beauty of it. We know that the task in front of us, we know that you've got to have, a timing and orchestration of a number of people coming together to do their jobs well. And that's what we try to strive for each and every event. Everyone knows their assignment and they do their assignment to the best of their ability. That's what we know. That's what we look for. We look for that level of excellence across the board.
There's also something I'm curious about. Towards the end of our project, there were times we hopped on the call for like long hours and
Mhm.
to try to get the picture perfect
Mhm.
for the project to ensure that the copy is the way it should be, the design comes out the way it should, the information that should be passed across is passed across accordingly. And we, to an extent, I could say that we were able to achieve some things. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I want to know, what was your experience while working with us? What was your experience working with us? And would you be willing to recommend us to other businesses? And also, if if you would be, why? And if not, why not?
First of all, I'm a person that would be very candid. I wouldn't take that question and just give you the answer that people might want to hear. I would give you the answer that, I felt was the appropriate answer.
Yes.
Um, I thought the experience working with you guys was excellent. And one of the things in this process was we don't, in myself in particular, I'm not in the business of doing websites or being involved with the production of websites on a regular basis. I know what we want to accomplish and know what our business looks like, but it really takes a special effort to kind of take what's in our head, especially my head, and then get it on paper. And you guys did an excellent job, like as you said, you mentioned, even down to the copy of making sure, hey, okay, let's understand that um, we're getting the right message across. We spent, like you said, countless hours sitting there getting copyright, getting the right visuals tied to the copy, the layout, the thinking through how a person might want to come through and experience the website there. And that takes time, and that takes more than just, hey, here's what I think, put it down. You have to look at it, take it, readjust it, reformulate it, and get it. And we did that. And I thought working with you guys was very uh, easy, given something that can be tedious and sometimes be, somewhat annoying to be able to have to keep going back and forth and try to figure out the exact way of doing something that looks the best. And you got very egolessly, that's a word, without ego, kind of came in and said, okay, let's change that, let's do that. So that working collaboration went well. So I would definitely recommend you for projects. Looking forward to doing more projects with you myself. So I guess I'm my own best testimony, because when I'm looking to do something with someone that I've had experience with, I do it because I think it makes sense, not because I have to. So yes, I definitely would recommend Eko Square going forward, because I think you guys understand what it takes to get a project done. I think you understand your client. And I'm only one client, so I can't say how you do with other clients, but the way I felt is I may not have been the easiest client to deal with, and you absorbed my style and was able to say, okay, here's the style and the cadence that Mr. Gilliam will work with, and let's figure out how to best make this work for what we have to accomplish on his behalf. So to me, that's powerful, because when you're an entrepreneur or whoever you at, your main job is your main job, and the other things you do, you're not really as professional in those things, because they're not what you do. You just try to make sure that you can communicate your objectives, and that's what I tried to do, not always in the greatest of ways. And you guys took whatever I came back with and found a way to ask me the right questions, or to take what I gave you and expand on it in a way beyond what even I thought I was asking. So from that perspective, it was a good experience. It was actually, for me, a needed experience, because I learned a lot about my own business within the process. So definitely would, definitely would recommend you, and definitely will look forward to working with you guys in the future.
That kind of answered the next question I was going to ask in regards to this project, particularly Phase 614. Are there future opportunities in still working with you on this project, like in terms of maintenance of the site, management of the payment process, and all?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think so. I think this is just the beginning. How I'm looking at the site. I mean, I think we looked at the ability to add different complexities to the site, from the podcast, from just really honing in on our SOEs on the searching and dynamics, really honing in on the fact that we'll be doing more events. I mean, the site is meant to be dynamic because our events are dynamic. Yeah, we have some baseline events that we do that are there, but even within those baseline events, they have different nuances that we want to incorporate in the site. But more importantly, we've always got something new happening going on. That's what it's about. And we're about bringing people together. We're about servicing our clients in a way that is ongoing, and there's always something that we need to do, and we're embracing. And I think a lot of things that even when we were pitched with DPA pitching us was there's so much out here that you can, if you get a good foundation and you understand how to bring the site here through social media, through technology, bring a whole lot to bear. And that's the transition we're in. We want to make sure that we're understanding the potential opportunities to get involved from a technological standpoint. And I think DPA gave us those ideas, dynamics, and working with you guys at Eko Square, we think that ability to keep those technical aspects incorporated into our business in a seamless manner is highly important. So the long answer, or the short answer, excuse me, is yes. We do plan on doing things in the future.
Shortly before we go, I would actually want to make a shout out to Black on Black, and for bringing us together with you, Mr. Jeff, and for a seamless collaboration process to bring in the project Phase 614 to life. And before we go, Mr. Jeff, would you have anything to say concerning the collaborating process we had between Eko Square, Phase 614, and Black on Black?
Yeah, I do. I think it was the way it should be. I think when you do a collaboration or when you find resources, because the biggest thing, I had been working with Black and Black, previously working with you guys, and actually, as you said, they brought you into the picture. They brought Eko Square into the picture. And so that's how it's supposed to work when you have people in a resource, other quality dynamics, understanding what my need was, the opportunity was to work with me and bring it together. That's, to me, the perfect scenario to bring talent and put talent in the right spots. That's it. I always do a sports analogy, but getting the right people in the right places at the right time is the key. And I think that's what happened between ourselves, Black and Black and Eko Square. We brought all three legs to the stool together, and now the stool is standing quite strong. So yes, it was a good collaboration, and one that will also continue in my mind.
Before we say our goodbyes, Tola, are there anything you would love to still get to know about Mr. Jeff, about the project, about Phase 614?
No, not really. I think you've covered all the questions that I had to ask. Mr. Jeff, it was really nice working with you, and I'm happy that we were able to collaborate with you in a way that was pleasant for you and match your energy on this project and all of that. And I'm so glad, and I'm sure every member of the team is happy also that you found satisfying what we've done, and we are also grateful for your kind words and your testimonials and your willingness to recommend us to other local businesses. So thank you very much, Mr. Jeff, and do have a pleasant day.
Well, thank you guys. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jeff. I actually really enjoyed speaking with you. It's been quite insightful, and I've gotten to know more about you and also more about Phase 614. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.